Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. It is exactly 16 after 8 o'clock. News and views on Salam Media, and that, of course, is local time. We're crossing over to Hargeisa, which is in Somaliland, and we'll be talking with locally based journalist. That's you, Muna Toosane. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Alaikum salam. Good morning.
Okay, so Muna, we understand that peaceful elections, alhamdulillah, was obviously ended on November the 13th in Somaliland. And at present, I guess that they are awaiting the final count. We also understand that this was obviously a very significant event for the region that declared itself independent from Somalia in 1991, although Somaliland is not as yet internationally recognized. How does that then play out as far as the global community is concerned? So, first off, what are your thoughts on the peaceful election that were held? They were meant to be held in 2022, but at that time there were a lot of political tensions. It was postponed to this time to 2024. What did you see going down on the ground, and how do you read the situation?
Mm. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me this interview. Just one point of correction: Somaliland didn't take its independence from the rest of Somalia, but it took its independence from the British colony, which was earlier used to be Somaliland British Protectorate, and in 1960, 26th of June. Later, it voluntarily united with Somalian Italiana, but after many years, Somaliland brought back its independence and it is repaired on 18th May 1991. So just that was a brief point of correction. And as you mentioned, Julia, the presidential election were scheduled to be held in the end of 2022, but there were only not political tensions, but also there were financial and technical circumstances surrounding, the government of Somalia, which is currently in the office. And after that, they, after a long discussions, agreed to add 2 more years with the current president of Somaliland, His Excellency Musa Bihabdi. That's the way the postponement was held and was conducted. And when it comes to the current election is not only a presidential election, but it's a twin election, which is the presidential election and also the political parties and political organizations elections, which, according to the Somaliland National Electoral Commission, more than 1.2 millions of people who were registered in a biometric system who took, let me say, their voting cards were casting their votes in November 13th of last week, Wednesday. So the overall, the eyes of the world were on Somaliland, and international observers were here, and international partners were also here. And after a day of the election, they issued a different press statements and emphasized that Somaliland peacefully conducted to win elections in the second time during President Bihi's 7 years in the office. So in this election, 18 electoral districts were conducting according to NEC, and also there were 2,000 of polling stations across the main 6 regions of Somaliland. So in a brief, that's how the election was conducted.
Okay, let's look at the let's look at the people that stood for the elections. We understand that outgoing President Muse Bihi Abdi of the Kumia Party sought re-election against his opponents, such as Abdurrahman Muhammad Abdullahi of the Wadani Party. and also Faisal Ali Warabi of the Justice and Development Party, who have run campaigns aimed at reform and national cohesion. How is that? How did the civil society respond to that? And what are your thoughts? Whom do you believe is going to best serve Somaliland going forward?
Exactly. Somaliland is going to be forward because if when it comes to democratization process and multi-party system is what Somaliland is famous for since its rebirth. And this election, the people of Somaliland were decided to elect who will lead the president for the coming 5 years, who will be the fourth elected president and the sixth president of Somaliland for the when it comes to the number of presidents that Somaliland had since 1991. So, as you mentioned, these three political parties were majorly running for the presidential elections, while other seven political organizations were also running, to get votes from the citizens, and citizens were casting their votes, not only the presidential elections, but also to elect, the most top three political parties who are, which NEC is will recognize that there will be the permanent three political parties for the coming 10 years in Somaliland. So in general, uh,
So it's going
the
to be a
elections were very
coalition
fair.
government, so to speak. It will be
Say
a
it again.
coalition government.
Really
Are
no.
all
When it comes
three?
to the yeah. When it comes to when it comes to the political system of Somaliland, in particularly the presidential when the presidential election is held, Somaliland's system of governance uh, is a presidential form of government, let me say. And when it comes to that, it didn't happen earlier that the political parties who are competing each other, who are running for the election, if one of them succeeded to make a coalition or to make in order to create a joint government. But I'm not also not willing to that will happen. But exactly, yet the results of the elections, both the presidential election and also the uh, political parties and political organizations election results are not yet announced by the Somaliland National Electoral Commission. But whatever it is, whoever wins means only one political part will build his government without making a shared government for the other political parts.
What is the talk on the ground and your sense of what is played up until now? Whom do you believe is the front runner in these elections? And despite whoever comes in, we've been told that up to now, Alhamdulillah, that it was the elections were very, very peaceful. But once the president elect has been announced, do you believe that whoever it is that comes into power, whichever party and whoever is the president, will be received in a very peaceful manner and will be accepted by civil society as a whole?
Um, Absolutely, yes, because if this is one of the democratic practices that Somaliland is usually famous for, whoever wins, when the National Electoral Commission announces the election, um, you know, the the winner will be announced as usual, and also those who loses the election is will accept. And according to Somaliland president's last speech for the election day, he actually underlined that uh, not his priority is not only to be re-elected, but also when journalists is asked what would you do in case you will lose this election, he absolutely promised that he will accept, and he must accept the results, not only President Bihi, but also the other political party candidates who will not win this election. So it's a good practice that Somaliland has been doing for the last, decades, and this is not the first, presidential election which people fought for, the one they want. the one they decided to lead the country. So hopefully, the losers of this presidential election will accept.
Now, I understand that the chairman of the Somaliland Electoral Commission, Muse Hassan Haji Yusuf, has stated that polling stations have closed peacefully and that the counting of votes is continuing without incident. However, there are already celebrations in a place called Berbera by supporters of Muse Bihi Abdi. The chairman of the Electoral Commission has urged citizens to obviously wait for the official results and saying that it's not healthy for premature speculation and premature celebration because the outcome could be different and that could possibly lead to violence. Hopefully, it doesn't. But how do you see this?
Really, this is very important point, and according to the chairman of the Somali National Commission, um, based on the electoral law of Somaliland, indicates that the final result and the final, whether it's preliminary results, will be announced by the National Electoral Commission, while the final election results will be announced by the Supreme Court. So personally, I haven't seen supporters who are supporting the current ruling party of Kulmiya celebrating, but where the shoe binges is that supporters, which whatever political organization or political party that they are supporting, um, each and every supporters who use social media are trying to claim by themselves a victory that they gained. And this is what the NEC and also uh, uh, the political parties and political organizations have collectively, telling the people not to make early celebrations. But I've been, witnessing last days that supporters from not only Kulmiya party but also Wadani party are, making early celebrations through social media, but it didn't so far happen in person or in physically across the regions of Somaliland. So this exactly will, confuse the final results, which is expected to be announced recently by the National Electoral Commission. And National Electoral Commission make a daily update, which, the most important point that they usually call the people is not to make a preliminary early celebration is. So so far, National Electoral Commission have announced that counting votes were completed, uh, that they completed the voting count for 5 regions out of the 6 regions of Somaliland, meaning that the capital city of Hargeisa and the region of the capital locates Merodich is still remaining.
Okay, my final question then to you is this year's elections have taken place in a context of regional tension, in particular over the dispute over control of the port of Berbera, a crucial resource for Somaliland. Recently, Ethiopia has tried to gain exclusive access to the port through a preliminary agreement that would allow it a corridor to the Indian Ocean. This agreement has sparked reactions from the Somali government, which considers Somaliland to be part of its territory and accuses Ethiopia of undermining its territorial integrity. How do you suppose this is now going to play out post the elections?
Um, Really, as you mentioned, elections of Somaliland will, is very important for the regional politics. And as you mentioned, Somaliland and Ethiopia have a memorandum of understanding for giving access to the point of correction, not the Indian Ocean, but the Red Sea, where geographically where Somaliland is located. And also this is so far go in a very good way, and the President Abiy and his government were telling the people that the memorandum of understanding is going to be end soon, but it seems that the election comes after the memorandum of understanding is completed. So generally, Somaliland is claiming that it has the right to be re-recognized, and it shows itself that getting or having such a powerful or such a huge memorandum of understanding and an agreement with one of the greatest African countries of Ethiopia will help it to, be the first step, to get the recognition. And Somaliland government says also that if it gives the access to the Red Sea to Ethiopia, they will extend, to Ethiopia to recognize Somaliland. So, so far, the political parts did not clarify exactly their stand, what they will do for the MOU if they win, the elections. But one of the political parts candidates, especially Abdurrahman Hamad Abdullah Ero for Wadani Party, underlined when the media asked what his thoughts for Somaliland and Ethiopia MOU, and he mentioned that if he wins the election, he will make the memorandum of understanding in a better way, which he claimed that he it's not yet, or it's not so far very transparent, and he said that he will make more transparent than how it's now. But the thing that all of the chairmen who are running for the presidential election are the same, have shared the media the same idea, and said everything that's good for Somaliland, that's leading Somaliland a way to get recognition again, will be the first priority for us. But
So
it shows
obviously,
that
it
they
all
all look
hangs.
different, the process of how the current government is doing, and how if one of the other political parties will do.
Okay, so it all has to do with very healthy bilateral arrangements with your neighbors. Thank you indeed for talking with us, and we do await the results as well, the final results,
Exactly.
with eager anticipation. Go well. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Thank you very much, Julia.
That was Muna Toosane from Hargeisa. She's based there. She's a freelance journalist, bringing us up to speed with the elections in Somaliland. Still to come on the show, it's exactly 8:34 a.m. and I do believe that my next guest is standing by. That is you, Mametlwe Sibai. We'll be with you in a minute or two. Thank you indeed for your patience.
We are here in the middle of a Zahra neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is already destroyed. More than 17 towers are down. Here, as you can see, the firefighters trying their best to help the people are still under the rubble. A lot of the people.
Join Hamza on his exclusive South African tour as he shares his personal experiences, never before seen footage, and powerful insights on the ongoing genocide in Gaza. This is more than just a talk. It's an invitation to witness Gaza through the lens of Hamza Sha'alan. Don't miss this opportunity to meet the photojournalist who brought Gaza's pain and perseverance to the world in its darkest moments. Follow Salam Media on social media pages for more on this tour and be part of